All right, Matt Gibbs is here. 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, and Matt is here to answer your questions about your cars this rainy third day of August. The show is called Auto Repair with Personal Care. And, of course, Matt is the owner of Sunrise Automotive and Crossroad Auto Sales. If you need a new car, then go over there. If you need your current car fixed, then go over there. Either or. So how you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay.
What's the matter?
I don't know. Look outside.
You feel bummed out, or you like this?
No, I don't like this.
You don't like the rain? No. So my one of my neighbors had a windshield replaced, and I remember having this done too. What is the length of time you have to wait? 3 hours?
They like for them to set for 24 hours.
Oh, 24 hours. Oh, okay. Why, it could fly back in?
No, it won't fly back in after it sits for a couple hours, but it takes a good 24 hours.
What is it? Just glue?
It's a polyurethane.
Oh, okay. Is that when you say polyurethane? Is that the stuff that heats up with the chemical reaction, like epoxy?
No, it's just a real heavy duty sealer, but it never really gets hard. It always stays like flexible.
Oh, really? It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, windshields are amazing. It's the science behind everything is amazing.
I know. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So any puddle stories? People that went through puddles and ruined their brakes? Or do you know what happened to me? I swear this happened to me. Of course, I don't really know, but I had there was a pulley. This is not the car I have now, but there's a pulley on the side of the engine, and it cracked.
Okay.
And I assumed it cracked because I used to, when I was a younger guy, think it was fun to ride through puddles as fast as I could. Like aim for them.
Oh.
And I think out of that stupidity, I broke something because the hot engine met the cold water and cracked it. Does that sound like it might be true?
That could be. We have some issues with some different pulleys on cars that they just break.
Yeah? I can't remember what kind of car it was. Maybe a Chevy Celebrity? Is that
maybe like a harmonic balancer? Does that make does that ring a ding?
Does it sound like a pulley? Does it look like a pulley? It had a spring on it, and you had to have a tool.
Oh,
like a ratchet.
Tensioner. It was a belt tensioner pulley.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty common, to be honest with you.
That they break?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it had nothing to do with the water?
It might not. I mean, the water might have just, it got jarred up in there.
And did you ever hear this, that when you're going through an inevitable puddle, not that you're aiming for it, but you got some you can't avoid, right?
Right.
That you should apply your brakes so that it squeegees off the water? Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Is that true?
I always do that.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I always do that. I don't know. My dad always told me if you go through a puddle, you gotta hit your brakes, and it just became a habit. So
because if you don't, they get wet, and then when you want to use them, they'll slip.
They could. I mean, because everything expands under heat. So if you go through a puddle and it cools it down, everything contracts. So now you hit the brake.
Yeah.
Now everything has to go out further because everything is now contracted. That's my theory.
So you're saying it as if it's a theory, and you don't know if it's really even true.
I could do an experiment. I like doing experiments.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's one you've done recently?
I mean, I do them all the time. I mean, I'll do something to see the, you come in with a car that has an issue, a cause, and then so. We know what the correction is, but how can we, like for instance, a car came in with blown head gaskets, okay, and it came in, we knew we were going to pull the heads off this engine, but it had a lot of miles on it. And I know that because of the mileage and the type of car it was, I know that the valves and the valve guides and all that's going to have a lot of carbon on it. So there's a chemical out there that carbon blasts. It helps clean out the engine. Put this chemical in, do this procedure, and it cleans. So I wanted to know if it really works or not. So I knew I was going to take the engine apart, so I went ahead and carbon blasted it before we took it apart. And wow, it really worked.
Really?
So I mean, I took the time.
So maybe that would work with my car, the little thing I got going on.
It's not an oil thing.
Oh.
It's
There's nothing to do the oil thing, is there?
Well, this particular thing that I was doing, I wasn't messing with the oil. I was messing with more on the combustion side.
Okay, where it gets hot, where the fire is.
Where the fire goes.
All right, and you do have a phone call. By the way, the phones are open, and it's not just me and Matt talking. You are talking as well. The number is 622-9622. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Hey, good morning, Matt. Mike
Morning.
McCoy.
How you doing?
You know, I'm glad to hear what you just said there about, cause and effect. A lot of people think, well, it just blew a head gasket. That's all that's wrong with it. It just blew a head gasket, and they don't realize that there's something caused the head gasket to blow. You know, you go in, they put a new head gasket in, and guess what? It blew the head gasket again. They didn't realize that maybe the fans weren't working, the cooling fan, or you had a stuck thermostat. And it's amazing how people think it's just, there's always, and I always use that as an example. I think that's a great thing that you just said there. What caused it to do that? Just the fact that it's blown, it doesn't mean it just felt like one day I think I'll blow a head gasket. It's, and so I appreciate you saying that. It's good to hear that. I've blown a head gasket quite a few times myself, but good information there.
Yes, sir. That's that's one thing. People come in and this is what's wrong with it. But why did it get that? Why did it get that way?
And does anybody know the answer?
Oh, there's always an answer.
But I wouldn't know. Like if I blew a head gasket,
it's really not. To be honest with you, Larry, no pun, no disrespect, but it's really not. You don't need to know. I need to know.
Okay, that's
you bring
fair.
a car to me and say, "Hey, my car is running like junk," and I say it's running like junk because of this. But why did it get like this? And it's like the caller.
So you don't really ask me; you just figure it out.
Well, and I explain to people. I try to. Yes, it has blown head gaskets, but right now we can't test anything. I mean, we gotta have to go in that direction. We're gonna have to fix the head gaskets. Then once we get the head gaskets on, now we got to find out why it blew a head gasket. Is it running hot? Yeah.
Have you ever had the one come in, the ones that come in and say, I know it can't be very much wrong with it because it was running perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
And the example I give them, I say, you remember when the space shuttle exploded? That thing was running perfect until that $5 O-ring.
Oh,
blew.
man, that's me.
And
I'm the one who's going to say that.
I hate to use that as an example, but that's the truth. It was going perfect until that little simple O-ring blew. And then what happened? Then you have catastrophe.
Right, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
sometimes you have to use shock treatment to get the attention, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or hey, yesterday the light in my kitchen worked perfect. Today, the light in my kitchen doesn't work no more. Why? How could that be? Well, you blew a bulb, but it worked yesterday.
Thanks a lot, guys. I'm gonna let you go and finish up.
All right, go to work.
Thank you for the call. Then the phone lines are open if you want to call Matt. It was a fun comment and contribution to the show. The number is 622-9622 if you want to call in. So if you ask me, or if you determine what I did to cause the problem, whatever the problem is, then I'm guessing the next step would be to tell me, here's what you're probably doing as you're driving, and therefore don't do it anymore.
And it may not be anything that you're doing. It's just something that the car is doing. You don't make the cooling fan comes on. You don't make the cooling fan come on. You know what I'm saying? When you get in there and drive it, you're not saying, turn on cooling fan. And then you forget this time, and it blows your head gasket. No, there's sensors, and there's relays, and there's fan motors, and there's everything it's equipped to do it itself.
It's a really amazing machine, isn't it? A car.
So, yeah, it's just like anything. It's just like this computer. You ought to see Larry. He's sitting there. He's got 1, 2, 3 computer screens all around him, and a keyboard and sound equipment.
Nothing compared to a car.
But what's inside of it?
Oh, yeah.
You see
how that works. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
Bam, there you go.
There was a drag racer in the news this morning who got injured. Did you see that story?
No.
The famous guy, he does a reality show. Does it ring a bell for you? Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, I'll have to look for it. I can't remember his name.
But he's a drag racer?
Yeah, he was. When I saw the drag racer, I looked at it to see if it was Don Garlis, but it wasn't. It's another guy. He has a reality show, but he's doing okay. I guess his wife. Hold on, just Google drag racing, drag racer. Here we go. Okay. Daddy Dave, star of Discovery Channel's Street Outlaws, was injured in a car wreck while drag racing in Amarillo, Texas on Saturday.
Oh, no.
You don't know who that is?
I don't.
So you should do a reality show.
Why?
I don't know. You got a lot of stuff going on in your life.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to watch.
It would be reality, too.
You might have to grow a long beard and have a duck thing.
Make me a car whistle.
All right, we'll take a little break, and we'll be right back. If you want to call Matt, the number is 622-9622. We'll be back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Clouds will limit our sunshine today, and there'll be a couple of heavy thunderstorms around, mainly during the afternoon, high 82 to 88. Tonight, partly cloudy with a shower thunderstorm, low 72 to 75. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a shower thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 87 to 90. Wednesday, partly sunny with a couple of thunderstorms around in the afternoon. Highs on Wednesday, 87 to 92 degrees. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Mike Listini.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. Tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
18 minutes after 10 o'clock, you're listening to WOCA The Source. The program you're listening to is Auto Repair with Personal Care. Matt Gibbs is your host, and he's your answer guy. If you have a question, the number is, or just want to comment, the number is 622-9622. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Say, with synthetic oil, you talk to people. A lot of people, that's the only thing I would use in my car. I would never use anything other than Pennzoil synthetic, Mobil 1 synthetic, on and on and on. I know you like your Schaefer's. And there's a big price difference. What's the difference between these products, and why is there such a big price difference?
I don't know if we could go back in the records and maybe find the oil engineer guy that called in the one Monday show. This is, I like Schaefer's because I saw what Schaefer's does, what it can do. I saw it tested.
Do you think like some synthetic oils have more synthetic in them, rather, or a different?
Well, I mean, if it's a full synthetic, it has to be full synthetic. But what are they? The additives and the way that they formulate the stuff. It's synthetic, so therefore it's man-made. It's not, it's not old dinosaur poop. You know what I'm saying? This is a man-made.
But isn't it made from something natural?
I think there's actually a base that is an oil base, but I know that when we used to race motorcycles and stuff like that in cars, and we would use VP gas, it's all synthetic. It's synthetic fuel. It's it's $20 a gallon, but it's synthetic fuel.
Yeah.
And it's how they formulate it.
Yeah, with regular oil, they can refine it and make it new again. Can they do that with synthetic oil?
Yeah, they pick up synthetic oil and they do whatever to it. But here's the thing with oil: whether it's synthetic, conventional, it doesn't really matter. People, since cars have been around, people have always had their brand, right? Some people put mobile gas in their car. That's all the gas that they'll put in their car is mobile gas. Some people are just that way.
Yeah,
and if you're using a product and it's giving you good service and it's built your confidence, you're going to stay with that product until something happens to where you're not happy with that product anymore.
Right,
That's what happens with everything and everybody.
Right.
Was Mobile One the first one to come out with synthetic? It seems like it.
Well, I mean, the first synthetic oil that I was associated with was Mobile One, because Mobile One and General Motors, they came together and they have a relationship. So back in the day when I was working for GM at a GM dealerships, I was more familiar with Mobile One than any other synthetic oil because that's what General Motors wanted to use.
You have another phone call. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Matt.
Good morning again. Just a quick information that might be helpful or not. Synthetic motor oil actually comes from purified natural gas. It's made from a base of crystal clear. If you looked at the synthetic oil before they put in the colors, so people, we don't want to put clear oil in our car. We want to put something that looks like motor oil. But in fact, the base of synthetic oil is natural gas.
Really? So it's clear like water, huh?
It's as clear, crystal clear. I mean, if you see it. And then they add the additives, of course. They put in the to change, for viscosity, different polymers, and they use and they put a dye in it to make it. They could put pink dye in it or purple dye, which, believe it or not, some people actually put purple dye in them. But that's where the color is in there to make people think we don't want to eat a purple hamburger, and we don't want clear motor oil. We want it to look like motor oil.
Yeah, it's like the Schaefer's motor oil is green.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Different color of a dye put into it. It's just the different in processes of different companies, whether it be one motor oil or another. It's just the different properties of what they like to do. I think, it's like people say, well, I like Quaker State and I like Pennzoil. Well, the different fossil oils, like that are made from conventional crude oil, the difference that they get from Pennsylvania and Quaker State. I'm a person, I would never use a Quaker State oil because I just think to me it always, as a growing up, it seemed to sludge up more. And it has a lot to do with the sulfur content of where it was actually mined from, or where it was pumped from, what area of the world this crude oil came from. And it, again, through the process of refining and so on, it became much more, they refine it down to a more acceptable level. But if that's the difference in different, if it says AE or API motor oil, it should be great, right? But
right.
I'm a synthetic person. I love synthetic motor oils myself. I use it in everything I drive. So
I do too.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I do too, because Matt told me to. That's why I do. But the other day, let me tell you, I went to a convenience store and needed a quart of oil. They didn't really have, it didn't say, it said synthetic, but there was like two types, and one had a prefix word. I can't remember. Robin, if you're listening, what were those words on those oils? But it didn't seem like if I go to the auto store. I don't know, what's an auto store?
Like AutoZone.
AutoZone. I mean, they've got so many oils.
Right.
It just says synthetic, so
right.
I just get that one. And usually I get a brand name, even if it costs a little more, because I always figure it must be better.
Right, and seeing I was kind of brought up anti-Quaker State,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
really?
and it was a lot of, like just last caller, we always looked at where the oil was being refined
really
from, that to determine well, we want Western Coast oils are way better than the Eastern Coast oils, and we used to always break them down. But then to just to be not biased, the government, when the government came in and started mandating all this stuff, and that's why it's been refined so much, and we got to have certain levels of certain things, and we got to reduce certain and all this stuff. That, I don't know all the particulars, because that stuff, I don't really want to know them.
Right.
I want to
and
know
you might
them.
have more today. The president has an announcement today. So.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he does. And I think he's always got something to say. And but I think the motor oils have really stepped up, because the government made them. Just like when we talked about it last week or a week ago, the government came in and said, okay, we're tired of cars getting 12 miles to the gallon. You guys are going to have to step it up. You're gonna have to we're gonna have to get this up a little bit, and they made them, the manufacturers, step it up, and they did.
Right.
And it's like now the new diesels. Now you got to have low sulfur, and you got to have these requirements, and they even have things to add to the fuel if to make it all work better for better emissions and stuff. So, but as far as what I've seen and watching Mobil 1, Pennzoil, Quaker States, all kinds of even off-brand names of oil, like he was talking about one of the oils is purple,
right?
Royal Purple, and it's purple oil, and we actually got into using that oil in some of our racing stuff, and but when I saw Schaefer's, when I saw what they did with it, when I saw that we had all these other brands of oil that all these people brought, and we did the same test on this oil that we did on this oil and this oil and this oil. We were all standing right there, and when I saw,
you saw a difference,
and it's a huge difference, so that made me a believer.
Okay, this is maybe along the same line, I'm not sure, but in Cuba, they say all of the cars are like from the 60s or something, or 50s?
Yeah, they're like in the 50s.
Well, how come our cars didn't last that long? How come?
They would.
We just traded them in because we wanted to?
Cuba had no choice.
Right.
And they had to keep them cars going.
Okay, okay.
So we have a choice.
So we believe we need a new car, but we really don't.
I know I have a lot of customers. I've got cars that I service that have over 600,000 miles on them.
Well, I'm going to keep mine then.
Just keep it forever. I'm like, unless it like breaks in half. Even if it breaks in half, I can fix it.
Yeah, but right now at this point in my life, my car depends on you. So if you tell me it's dead, Larry, then I guess I have to take your word for it.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, it could never die as long as you're willing to pay the money. It can always be
repaired.
It can always.
Well, and that's what it is. It's a money thing.
It's a money thing.
Yeah. It's always a money thing, isn't it?
Well, most of the
time. Matt, usually I ask you when you have like 10 seconds. Let's give the address and stuff a little bit more time. Where are you?
Okay, you can reach me at 352.
10 seconds. I'm sorry.
690-1993. 352-690-1993. Or you can come by and see me at 1800 Northwest 10th Street.
All right. And of course, you have cars for sale. Do you have a question for Tom? No. For Matt, I mean, do you have a spotlighted car you want to mention?
I got a real nice 2003 Nissan Murano with about 87,000 miles on it. It turned out real nice. It's a real super clean car.
Tom Schmitz just handed me a note. Anyone heading to Tampa, St. Pete, I-275 at West Shore, is that West Shore Boulevard, is closed due to flooding. Wow. The interstate is underwater, so if you have plans to go to Tampa, St. Pete, on I-275, where's Matt's song? Hold on.
We do this every week.
I know. Well, today I had it, but Tom had an important announcement. So don't go down there without expecting a delay.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Larry.
Hang in there because we've got more coming up. This is WOCA Ocala.
News News Radio, I'm Pam Puso. Donald Trump is surging, topping another poll days before the first Republican presidential debate.
I've never debated